Okay, welcome to part 5 of my Inflation RPG full game guide series. That's crazy. Yeah, I released part 3 2 days ago as of when I'm starting to record this, and that was after a 6-month break from this. So that's crazy. So just a couple things to go through before this starts. Firstly, these videos are going to start being not only a lot shorter, but more about just kind of specifics now, since by this point in the game, I have to start expecting more common sense and also more knowledge of the game that you'd get through playing it. Most people that get even this far, and this isn't that far into the game, are already the kind of people that pick up advice, decently fast, and they won't want to be bothered watching like a 2 hour long video to learn how to farm like 2 items. Only the super important stuff will 100% be covered, but it will be covered, so don't worry about missing anything really key. So as a result of this as well, I'm probably going to have much less detailed scripts, these being the Word documents that I'm using to kind of, not really as a script, but to kind of prompt myself on what to say. I'm currently looking at one, reading it right now. I've been linking these in the description, in the descriptions of my last two guide videos. This is all because the farther this guide series gets into the game, the more I'm just able to improvise talking about things, since I'm just more and more familiar with later and later parts of the game, so it's easier to just talk while playing since I know this part of the game better than I know the start, because I don't play the start very often. But I've said this like a million times already in this series, but if you need more detail, please do feel free to just join the Discord server. It's super easy to get info there. I'm already started a new run, so yeah, we're in hard mode. You're definitely going to want HP and attack gems on at the start of your runs here, because hard mode is hard. Look at that, 4,000 damage from like here. If you go into normal mode and fight this mob, you're probably taking like 60 or something damage, like nothing. So what I've figured out is that I can, oh, is this on run set? No. Is that I can go one fight in there, and then one fight in here, and then kill Panda, and then start moving to the left. So obviously we're still farming things, so what we're farming this time is just the first few things in hard mode. Firstly, it's going to be Steel Axe +1, and then Trident +1, and Magic Armor +1, and then God of War and Hero Gems, and then Knight +1 gear. This TXT isn't actually accurate. Hold on. I should have fixed this before starting to record, but whatever. Slash magic armor +1, and then knight +1 gear, whatever, check here after the video cuts. So just check this document after I like make the first cut in the video. I am going to be doing that a few times. I'm going to be like cutting out raw farm footage. I'm going to be, working on actually editing these a bit. Not, anything fancy, literally just, oh, this piece of gameplay is not something anyone watching will care about. I'm going to cut it out. So this is the enemy that you're farming Steel Axe +1 from. This is the level 1000 zone in hard mode. As you might remember, you can check what level a zone is even in hard mode with this, with irpgmap.theohigh.fr. If you go into hard mode and you see, and you if you go into hard mode and select zone, it still shows you the level. It doesn't just name everything area level question marks, so you can still check stuff there. And I'm kind of just farming here. So once I'm here, I'm just kind of stacking luck, and then that's it. Oh. So also remember, the first few farms in InflationRPG are going to be pretty short runs, so with those short run farms, find the risks you can take that aren't really risks at all. Just see how fast you can work through a run, like how aggressive you can be with the fights you take without ever really being at risk of losing a fight, even with bad RNG. So don't be doing something in your normal run that relies on combos or crits or XP bonuses. You should never end up needing those at this point in the game. Not yet. So the first enemy I find in this zone in this run is the one we're farming here, and he drops Steel Axe 1 at what kind of drop rate? Let's see. You can check here. I believe I did look at this last time, so it's only a couple percent, and his spawn rate is kind of low. So this farm does end up being kind of annoying. There is some gold farming that's probably good to do around this point in the game. And yeah, I'll probably get to that once I have Steel Axe +1. But I'll talk about that some more when it's actually the time in the run to do that. And before cutting this, before I stop recording now, I'm also going to explain the lives mechanic in hard mode. But that's not too complicated. That'll only take a second. Oh, fuck. Nah, dude, I gotta wash my dishes from dinner. What? I'm gonna do that like next thing after I hit the stop recording button, probably. I'd say expect this video to be like probably 30-ish minutes long, but for real this time, and this really should be. And this is for like 4 different farms. Later videos are probably going to be about 1 farm at a time. Now, I'm not going to do this run for the sake of keeping the video shorter, but remember about these. That's all I'm going to say. Just remember to use your BP rings. Because obviously you don't get here with much BP, because you might have noticed in HM you start runs with 10. You start them with 10 BP as opposed to 30, which is a really big difference. It means you have a lot less to farm stuff with, and yeah, it can be pretty inconvenient, especially early on, to just have none like that. So I'm going to keep these in here because, well, I want to. I'm actually, for the next farm runs, I'm going to equip a couple Luck Gem +3s. So this set is really scuffed, but it will do the job, so I'm not too worried. Like, even if your XP set doesn't end up looking like an XP set, it's okay at this point in the game. I'm about to get an ad. Hell yeah. Okay, so one more thing to explain before I cut this video is hard mode lives. So this is really simple. You might remember from the last video on active farming how to refill your daily bonuses. It's just the same with hard mode lives. So what you want to do, obviously, so how this works is you have 10 lives by default. If you start a hard mode run, you lose 1. That life does not come back if you reset the run or anything like that. Like if I start a normal run and erase whatever happened in that last hard mode run, it's still gonna be at 9 out of 10. You regen a life every 10 minutes, and when you have 0, you can't start a new run. So similarly to daily bonuses, where sometimes you have 0 and you want to have more than 0, you make sure you're not looking at your lives. Make sure you're just on the character select screen. Go to date and time in your settings. Move forward by 1 day. I still don't live in West Africa. And then check the screen. You can go back out of it or you can stay on it. That doesn't matter. Like to demonstrate, I'll go back in time with it. And then, you know, set your date back to what it actually is. What the hell? And then look at it again, and now I have 10 lives, and I'm gonna cut the video there. God knows what I'm gonna be talking about next time, because I haven't even finished writing up the script for this yet. This is probably gonna happen a lot more often. These videos might end up getting a bit more messy, but hey, we'll see. Alright, so I've just gotten Steel Axe +1, and if you look at this, 90,000 flat attack, 300% attack. So I'm at like level about 8,500, and if I were to equip Stock +1, I would have 1/5 of the attack that I have currently with this on. So that's why you want it. It makes the start of a run just an absolute breeze. I did have BP rings on when I paused, so this is gonna go game over when I go back out into menus, but I'm just gonna point this out before I just cut to the next thing. You won't need an attack gem in your set anymore with this, because what will my best attack gem give me? 10k. On top of 90k, that doesn't really make a difference. But anyway, so the next thing is going to be going to actually NM Heaven for some more gold farming, and that is to get stuff like just set 3 and also these. So yeah, this will cut to there like now, I guess. Alright, so now we're at normal mode Heaven, and this is for gold farming. Heaven is actually a really good spot to gold farm from. So I have one daily bonus left in this run because I used one at grid trying to get Suku, didn't manage, but I'm just gonna pop it here. So where you're farming gold in Heaven is just this first map right here. Everything in here drops, I mean, for, you know, anywhere in NM, a really nice amount of gold. So I've already started a little bit of luck, but I don't have much yet. And yeah, what you're gonna want to do is just be wherever you want in the map, and just take, you know, bonuses if they're useful to farming gold. So take any money bonus, especially take any question mark bonuses. And other than that, you can pretty much just sit in whatever zone you like for the majority of the time. Remember to be statting luck through this, and why this is so effective is you will have so much BP. So let's see, I have like 16k luck. Let's see on XP stat how much something in here gives me. And all 4 zones give about the same amount of money per fight. Enough that if they all have like different money bonuses, whichever is the highest money bonus is just the best one to go to. I wasn't actually keeping track there. Let's try that again with like 25k luck this time. That's combo and crit, I don't care. Alright, let's actually look at how much money this thing gives me now. Yeah, so about 16,000, which might not seem like much, but you are going to find at least a decent amount of money bonuses in the like 60 BP you should have here with Steel Axe 1 to climb with. And you also have like 60 BP. So, I mean, even if I were to get no money bonuses the whole rest of this run, 16k by 60 is about a million, and that's not considering BP rings or, again, money or question mark bonuses, which again are gonna happen in at least some of mine here. So actually that fight was a little bit spooky. There is a tougher mob in this zone, so I guess I should stat a bit more HP attack defense, but it shouldn't be a big deal. Just make sure you can survive this zone, and then you're just statting only luck for the entire rest of the run. So yeah, this is pretty chill. So the stuff you want to gold farm out overall is at least set 3, because in set 3 you're going to have a luck set. So that's just a set that you want to use to this is the set you want to switch to. Set 3 is going to be the set you want to switch to when you're fighting White Dragon Knight and Oculus of Hatred in HM. It'll just be a set with some luck items and stuff on it, and obviously recovery. Just if a set doesn't have recovery in it, it should always just put it somewhere in. But yeah, you're gonna be using that to fight Hatred and White Dragon Knight, because those are the guys that drop the next really important drops of God of War Gem and Hero Gem. Those are the real big, huge, awesome stat accessories that you really want. And yeah, having a set dedicated solely to those 2 fights will save you like changing out accessories to make sure your drop rate's good on the items, and it'll just save you a bunch of time per run, and the runs are already really short, so any time save probably gives you an extra like couple runs per hour worth of speed. Because obviously saving a minute on like an hour-long run, good job, you got another run for 2.5 days of playtime. But saving a minute on like a 2-minute run, you go from 30 runs an hour to 60. So yeah, having a set specifically for those bosses is a pretty decent time save on an already really fast run, so it's really nice to have. There's also the matter of these slots, which is where the God of War and Hero Gems are gonna go once you have them. They do cost a lot. These 2 cost 3.5 million, these 2 cost 5 million. These are like special item slots. Like once I get this slot, I cannot put this in it, or any of these 6 items, but that's not really complicated, it's just annoying to explain, we'll get there. Even 5 mil can be pretty realistically farmed from NM Heaven, but the runs are long. And failing to get 5 million in a run here is actually quite easy. But there's another way to farm gold that I'm gonna get to later. So for now, I guess that's all I really need to say on this. So I'm just gonna cut to farming in here for Trident +1 and Magic Armor +1. Actually, am I? No, because Trident +1 and Magic Armor +1 aren't actually that good now I think about it. They're off the top of my head, they were like things I was considering. Actually no, Magic Armor +1 is good. I'm gonna farm it. So I'm gonna skip to Desert in HM, same place you farmed gold at the start of the game, where I'm gonna farm out a Magic Armor +1. Alright, so we're now in... Oh, is my mic quiet? I think it is. Alright, so we're now in HM Desert. Back in 22-22. I did actually, so I got Sat 3, and this is how it looks right now. I would put like a third luck gem +3, and then a luck gem +2 in here, but I haven't bought those yet, so it's pretty scuffed for now, but it'll do the job. I did actually manage to get this slot unlocked in the one NM Heaven farm run I did. I just got lucky and ended up getting 5 mil. Spent 1.5 mil of it on Set 3, and then the other 3.5 on that. I haven't filled it with anything yet though, since I'm going to assume that you didn't manage to get it, or it didn't happen to. So now we're in 22-22, and we are gold farming again. Sorry, no, we're farming Magic Armor +1, but this is also actually a really good gold farming spot. Also good enough for 5 mil gold, and that right there is why, because I just got 81,000 in one fight. So yeah, the general idea here is you just get a lot more, like a whole lot per BP in here. Even compared to NM Heaven, you get like 4 times as much per fight. So this means that it is actually quite possible to just gold farm 5 mil in here. Stuff like this. This won't get me there, it won't even get me close, but if you just start a run, go to here, obviously go through the motions of your run to make sure you can actually win fights here, but you get a run to here, and then you pop a daily bonus, and if this zone has like money times 7 for 5 or 6, or like money times 4 for 6, if it has a really, really good money bonus on it, then stay and take the money bonus and start, you know, gold farming as you would. Remember in that run that you have a second daily and you could get another good money bonus from that. It's important to use VP rings on runs, on gold farm runs here as well, because obviously you don't have much because you're at the start of HM. And then if you didn't get a good money bonus here and you're trying to gold farm, just reset and do it again. Now, that method of getting, you know, getting 5 mil, getting 3.5 mil, getting the bottom row of slots unlocked, it'll almost certainly require you to change it to get daily bonuses back at least some point. So do make sure you're, you know, willing to do that if you want to actually farm gold this way. And also Sphinx gives a good amount of extra money, or a good amount of extra BP, and also gives, I believe, the most money of anything in this zone, so if you are on like a good money bonus, then make sure one of the fights that you spend in it is just getting Sphinx out of the way. Now, question marks. I'm gonna get the hell out of here. Question mark stuff in HM is super buffed. Even if I get Grip A, which stats-wise is the easiest grip to win fights against, I would still get absolutely wrecked. They're all very strong. That would make you think, well, they probably have, you know, stronger drops, right? Not really. Ishtar, who drops recovery in normal mode, still only drops recovery in hard mode. There's no +1 of it, nothing like that. There are a couple useful drops you can get from HM Grip A, and obviously they give more gold, because HM gives more gold for the same things, but really, HM question mark stuff isn't all that useful. They have a couple drops that get useful towards the very end, and that's about it. So yeah, if you see question marks at this point in HM, just avoid the hell out of them. So this is one of the enemies you're looking for Magic Armor +1. It does have a pretty nice drop rate, which just makes things even better really, because, well, it's really easy to get here, and the spawn rate for one of the enemies that drops it is really nice. And of course in a money times 7, I get this ogre dude who drops like, I mean he dropped not even 200k with money times 7. Half the enemies in here drop that much on money times 2. And now I get a mob that actually drops some amount of gold, which is nice. So, though I am, you know, farming magic armor +1 on it because it's a decent defense upgrade, I could, with BP rings, actually just end up getting the other one of these slots unlocked, which would be nice. Have used both my dealies already. I'm gonna just cut to having magic armor +1 after I'm finished this run, so this shouldn't be going much longer. Ugh. Just give me like a money bonus so I can get to 3.5 mil and then just call a run there. Oh, just over 3 mil. So with BP rings, I'm not even gonna need money bonuses to reach 3.5 mil. And if you can unlock one of these slots, like if you happen to get the gold for it, for one of the bottom accessory slots, you just happen to get that much on a Magic Armor 1 farm run, make sure you get that slot. Don't, you know, buy a bunch of miscellaneous things. There are still some useful things that I haven't bought. That was actually really fast. First run of farming it, that was really good. So I guess I don't really have to cut much here. So I'm gonna equip that on everything instead of rare armor. I know I have best items for both weapons and armors, which is it's just nice, you know, it's just really handy. So that's just a straight upgrade to rare armor. Actually, I'm curious, okay, so Crystal Cape actually would be better. Crystal Cape is gotten in just the very first zone of Heaven in normal mode, but it's not something you need. It's nice if you get it, especially for the start of a run, but really it's not huge. It's not something you have to go back for if you didn't happen to get it. So I'm just gonna get to 3.5 mil here, and then do I even really have to cut? Because the next thing to be farmed is God of War and Hero Gems, and now everything's in place to start farming those, items-wise. Wow, it's only giving me crap money ogre. If you get, you know, a really good money bonus in like either of these two zones just outside 2222, those are still worth taking if there's no money bonus in here. Because 1333, like this zone especially, actually does give a really nice amount of gold. So if you have like money times 7 for 6 or something on there when you pop a dealie, then yeah, go for it. That can probably still take you to 5 mil. Or at least take you, you know, enough of the way there that you're basically guaranteed to get it. Okay, so I've almost got 3.5 here. I'm not going to use this other bottom slot either. Although once I have a God of War / Hero Gem, I am going to start putting those in it. So yeah, I just get that since I can. I could get enough for the extra luck gem +3, but I'm going to do that off recording. So now I have 3 sets, Steel Axe +1, Magic Armor +1. That should be what you're using. Actually, for this next farm, you're probably going to want Crystal Cape. I'll see once we're actually properly into one of those next farm runs, but for now, this should be roughly how you're looking. So I'm just going to cut to whenever, really. It'll make sense, I think, I promise. Alright, so it's time to farm Hero and God of War gems. So I did one extra run in EHM Desert, just to gold farm up another luck gem +3, and also a 2 crit ring. Very good item for just like bursting down bosses. It goes best with a bunch of crit damage rings, but obviously you kind of want these, and HP is really nice, so there's no space for those, but even on its own, 2 crit is really nice for bossing. And with the Steel Axe 1 and even an HP Gem 3, you shouldn't need a +4, I'm pretty sure. You can just run straight through Panda, which is very nice. So now up into here, we're finally going up past him. Took a bit in hard mode, just like it took a bit in normal. I've also put instant counter ring on sets 1 and 3, not 2, because you never want to click the instant counter button on your set for not getting counters, but yeah. got this on here. Okay, so this guy actually dropped Samurai Sword +1. He also two-shot me, so that's cool. He can drop Samurai Sword +1, which is a nice upgrade if you get it. He's also the most dangerous enemy in that zone by like kind of a lot. He's actually pretty spooky. So if you get him, don't be surprised if he just takes you one-on-one. So obviously next to WDK here, who we want to take down. Triple for 4. Yeah, I'm gonna take that actually. I'm pretty sure none of the enemies in here are actually even as dangerous as the Samurai Sword 1 dude in here, so that should be fine, and obviously got a lot more levels now. So now, I'm gonna fight him. I'm not sure if I'll kill him, because this is my first time fighting him in this Civ. Well, I did. Quite frankly, I whooped his ass. I wrecked him, and that's another base level. So these are, the ones giving base levels are the same ones that did back in normal mode. Now we're going up into Cemetery map. So this is maybe a bit dangerous of an area. So Magic Armor +1 is, yeah, it only gives about the same defense, so it's not really a big deal which I have equipped between that and Crystal Cape. So Crystal Cape is, I guess, nice for this, but really Magic Armor 1 should do you just fine. It shouldn't be a problem to not have Crystal Cape. I think this is an awful idea, but I'm gonna try it anyway because who knows? Or because I don't know. Oh, actually I'm fine. Probably wouldn't have been if nothing happened in the fight, but I'm fine. So, I mean, yeah, take risks at your own risk. I took a risk and it paid off. So if I could take an enemy in his zone, I can probably take Hatred. Now Hatred is the other one you want to take on with Luxat as he drops Hero Gem. Just make sure that you're on Luxat for both of the boss fights of WDK and Hatred. And yeah, if you didn't get a God of War Gem and you didn't get a Hero Gem, the run's essentially over unless obviously you got something else you want, like the Samurai Sword +1. Make sure to that's the kind of drop that, like, it's not the thing you're running for, so you might forget about it, but it's not something you want to reset, because it's actually really nice. It's a straight upgrade to Steel Axe +1 in terms of both flat and percent. I think it's 120k and 350%, which is really nice. Like, it's really nice if you get it. Yeah, for drops like that, they're like not that important that you'll never forget them, but also not something you want to forget. I said this about something else in a previous episode. Being paranoid is perfectly reasonable. It's probably your best bet to just be like, okay, remember not to reset for the item. Remember not to reset. I got a Samurai Sword 1. So yeah, but anyway, I'll come back with either a God of War Gem or a Hero Gem. We'll see. I clicked the stop recording button. What the hell? Alright, I'm back. So, midway through farming for that first gem, I took a bit of time to go back to Desert and HM to farm out gold for sets 4 and 5. Set 4 costs 2.1 million gold, and 5, which is the important one to make sure you get here, costs 4 million. These aren't sets that you need to put anything in, at least not for a while. Like, I still have both of them empty, really. But they do unlock something very nice, which is the ability, toggled by this button, to show your set buttons. There's nothing up here. When you do this, it shows your set buttons on the overworld without you having to go to menus. This is absolutely worth going back for. Even if you don't have any of the gems yet, it even speeds up those runs by a good lot. Because, I mean, look at this. Okay, I've changed sets. Just change back. Which of those is faster? It's really obvious. But anyway, I did in fact get one of the drops I wanted, and it was a Hero Gem. This is actually really nice, in particular, since unlike God of War Gem, it gives HP, which means I don't need an HP gem like I was using to start off runs anymore, and it also gives a lot of luck compared to, you know, luck +3s, enough to actually just make drop rates a good bit better in general. It's just a really great item all around for this point in the game. So if you already, after getting one of these gems, have any bottom row slot unlocked, just put your first gem in there. So I'm gonna, for XP set, I'm just gonna replace this with an XP1, and I'm just gonna put this in here. For run set, yeah, just goes in here. And for luck set, I guess I can put an HP4 back in here like I had, and then put this in here. There's not really any tough decision to make here. If you don't have any slot unlocked yet, then now's the time to do that. Heaven is an option for this if you want, NM Heaven, but personally I'd advise just putting that new gem you have in your XP set, like say instead of here it would be here, like where, you know, the HP gem plus 4 used to be, and also putting it on your luck set for once you're farming in there, and just going to HM Desert and rolling a good bonus to get a quick 3.5 million gold to unlock one of these slots and just put it in there. I'm gonna drink some water. Oh, my mouth is so dry. So now that you have won, all that's left is to get 3 more of them. So yeah, what you want is any combination of 4 hero gems and God of War gems. It doesn't matter how many you have of each. If you have 2 hero gems, 2 God of War gems, that's fine. If you have 3 God of War gems and only 1 hero gem, that's fine. If you have 3 hero gems and only 1 God of War gem, that's fine. If you have 3 of each, great. I mean, your luck set, which will eventually just be a set for, you know, raw stats, just like having these numbers as high as possible. That set will be pretty strong if you just have 3 of each of these, but yeah, for now it's just back to farming more of these until you have any combination of 4. So I will come back to you with any 4 God of War hero gems. We'll see which I have of which, but yeah. Alright, so I now have a combination of 4 of these gems. I ended up getting 2 hero gems and 2 God of War gems. Hero gem first, then 2 God of Wars, then the second hero. Don't be surprised, by the way, if these farms are taking you hours and hours each. Getting the first hero gem took me about 4 hours. It took me about like 60 or 70 runs over the course of, I'd say 3 or 4 hours. Maybe less, maybe I'm overestimating the time a bit, but it did take me about 60 runs. So do expect them to take a while, the drop rates aren't high anymore. Although that was pretty unlucky. I then got the 2 God of War gems within the next like 20 or 30 minutes of playing. And then I got the second hero gem after maybe another hour and a half or so. I got kind of unlucky getting that last one. Again, it doesn't matter which combination of the 4 you have, as long as you have any 4 it's fine. So now that you have all 4, what you want to do is make sure that you have the 5 mil slots unlocked as well as the 3.5 mil slots. So you're just gonna gold farm desert to do that. And once you have all 4 of those slots unlocked, you're just putting the 4 gems you have in those 4 slots. Oh, I had this on option 3 because once you have at least 1 of the gems that you wanted, you can move through runs super fast compared to what you were doing before. After I got the first God of War gem, and now I had 2 gems in total, I literally could kill Hatred and White Dragon Knight without putting a stat point into anything, so I just ended up disabling this screen entirely and just speeding through runs as fast as possible. But yeah, so now I'm gonna gold farm out desert for the 5 mil slots, and I'll come back after that. Alright, so I've just gold farmed out the last accessory slot, so now I have every slot in the game. All 5 sets, all 10 accessories, and now that I have hero gems, I don't actually really need a luck set, at least for now, because think about it, right? These 2 give 60,000 luck. These 3, taking up 3 whole slots, give 12,000 between them, which if you, like, okay, so I have 95,000 after my character's buff to luck, or a little multiplier, so 95,000 down to 80,000, I can tell you right now that loses you maybe like 0.05% drop rate on things, which might sound like, oh well, I mean every little bit matters, right? But really, I think this is when you're better off swapping this into a boss set with crit damage rings and obviously, assuming you still only have 4 of these and didn't like get a 5th, like get 2 in one run when you already had 3 or something insane, you'll kind of just have a slot left to put in whatever. I'll just put in the HP gem plus 4 since it's the best stat gem I have. Now, the reason why I'm putting these in these slots on my movement set and not, you know, movement stuff is partly that actually not everything can fit in these slots. Not everything's allowed to be put in it. You might have noticed this slot can only equip items with 2 stars or less, so if I want to put, you know, say a movement gem plus 1 in this slot, I actually can. You can put movement items, encounter reductions, movement gem 1s. You can put those in 2-star slots, but you can't put really anything except the instant encounter ring and a bunch of items that give stats in the 1-star slots. This holds true throughout the whole game, really. Okay, you can put encounter increase rings in them as well, but that's the reverse of these. Like, you literally would never want to use them because instant encounter exists at all. So, yeah, there's not really much use for 1-star slots apart from stat items. So, these are actually the best stat items you can put in 1-star slots. Whether God of War or Hero Gem is better is... I mean, they're close enough that it hardly even matters here when you get them and when, you know, they provide so many stats for you. I typically prefer Hero Gems because the luck is nice and the HP is nice as well. Although, God of Wars, if you say that you only care about, you know, total HP, attack, and defense, right? Then God of Wars are kind of better because they give 50k of 2 of those 3 stats, so that's 100k between them. And Hero Gems give 30k, 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 which is 90k. So God of War Gems kind of do give more stats in terms of the ones you want for fights, but Hero Gems are just, I don't know, I just like them better. But you could prefer one to the other, or the other to one, and it doesn't matter. That won't be the difference between, like, really anything, except maybe on hard mode Stairway at the very end of the game where everything counts. So now what we're going to be doing next is farming Knight plus 1 gear, so I'm going to do a really quick run just getting there and demonstrating that. I'm also going to put this last God of War gem in this last slot. So I'm going to do one run demonstrating that, and then that will actually be essentially the end of the content for this video. So Knight plus 1 gear is a mob farm, actually. So nice. So you might actually want to go and take out Sphinx in these runs. Also remember option 1 on that. If you've had it on option 3 to gold farm faster, you will need you will need stats to win fights in 10k zone. It's not easy. At least not with this gear. Obviously coming back with later gear it's totally free, but you can say that for basically everywhere in the game except the end. Also, you might notice this has basically been unloading all the time, this video. That is because I have my emulator's Wi-Fi turned off. You can do this if you're on an Android emulator. Well, at least if you're on Nox, which is the one that most people use for IRPG. BlueStacks, I don't know if you can. Others, I don't know if you can. I've only really used Nox. Now, if you're going for Knight plus 1 stuff, you might as well just use XP set on these bosses, or on White Dragon Knight and Hatred, because, well, you have Hero Gems anyway. You have at least one if you have any combination of 4 God of War and Heroes. So you'll have, you know, at least some luck for the little chance of, you know, cleaning up one of the last 2 gems that you need. And also, you'll need the XP for the levels for the stats. So, if you want to luck set them, or, you know, now this is essentially a boss set. If you want to boss set them, that's all good. But really, I mean, actually no, it doesn't really matter. There's no point because this has the same amount of luck and also will give you more XP. You might, if you want, you can put a luck set on like a set considering you'll have all 5 unlocked by now, but whatever. No, I might be going too far. I might be going perfectly fine. No, I'm going perfectly fine. That was a very easy fight. So, where you want to be here is in the level 10,000 zone. Also, these might stop being instant death by now. I'm not sure yet. I can't remember really when I was strong enough to take them. I'm gonna take a fight here in XP set. So this zone, this like just bottom of the map zone right here, that is 10k. That is level 10k. That's where you're gonna be farming this stuff. And as you can see here, the weapon has plus 460% attack, which is, well, that's a lot. I did randomly get Trident 1, I believe, while gold farming for sets. That would be my highest percent weapon by 80%, which is quite a lot. Although it doesn't have much flat, neither does Trident 1, to be fair. And Knight Armor plus 1, it's only a 10% upgrade on Magic Armor 1, but the 50,000 flat defense is actually pretty nice at this point in the game still. So I'm going to try a fight in here. I might be fine, I might not. This is how you know you're in the right zone. If you're getting this guy a bunch, then you're in the right place. Because he has a 2/3 spawn rate in this zone. You might come to really not like him because he's the one mob in here that doesn't drop anything. This guy has drops. Let me just check really quick on the IRPG map. If I select hard mode, alright, hard mode, world 2, since that's where we're at. So this zone is 10k. So load the enemies, whatever. Actually, I'll refresh. I'll see if that makes it work. World 2. What the hell? Okay, so Odin is the big white dude. Okay, he drops on. Okay, so I know who he is. The one I just fought, the one I just encountered, drops both rapier and armor, as in he drops both the weapon and the armor. The other one, the big white dude with a spear, you'll know when you see him, drops only the armor, and also at, actually not a lower drop rate, it caps out lower, but for any amount of luck that you'll actually be farming this with, it's higher. But he can also drop rapier, so overall you're more likely to get a drop from this guy, and you also need to drop rapier from him. Although that's only really info, that's not really info you can use for anything, apart from like knowing when to, you know, get excited that you could be about to get a drop. You can't influence which enemy you fight on any given fight, or anything like that, so yeah, so once you're sure you can kill any of the enemies in here, which if you can really comfortably kill the green guy or this guy, Odin, the one that drops armor only, does have higher attack by a decent bit than the other two, but if you can kill the other two really comfortably, you might not, you know, heal back everything Odin hits you for, but he still shouldn't be a problem to actually just beat in a fight. So past that point, you can just start stacking all luck, and yeah, that's pretty much all there is to it. From this point on, I'm kind of just sitting in this zone for the rest of my BP, and you just rinse and repeat that until you have both Rapier 1 and Armor 1. So this is the last farm of this video, so I'm gonna skip to whenever I have both of those. Alright, so I now have Knight plus 1 gear. I have 1 Knight Rapier plus 1, and actually 2 Knight Armor plus 1s, because I just got a second one before I got my first Rapier. But yeah, now I have at least 1 of each. I could have 1 armor and it does not matter at all. Like, I won't even be noticing the difference really. But yeah, that's actually it for the content of this video. This one took 2 days to make compared to really less than a day for every video that came before this one. This is because the stuff to farm just takes longer, and also I do plan to edit this one in the end, which will probably take time on its own because I just don't know how to do that. And by edit, I really just mean chop together a bunch of different pieces of video. But yeah, the next couple things to do, which will be the things covered in the next video, will actually be things from NM, which from now on we won't be visiting very much at all since the stuff available in HM is just so much better. But one more thing to mention is, if you're at like the end of a run, you just happen to be, and you're at about this point in the game now, go through your weapons list and buy any weapons you can afford, because you'll need them. One of the things that's going to be covered in the next video requires you to just have a bunch of weapons to even start farming a thing, but we'll get there when we get there. For now, that's it for this video. Yeah, thanks for watching.